I have to give you official news about the Ben 10 franchise. There's a release date for the new comic, but most importantly, its reboot has been announced. That's right, we'll have a new story. There's not much more to say. I got a month and we're starting. We have many reasons to celebrate the franchise reboot announcement. Ben 10, another reboot, doesn't seem appealing since the last series was already a reboot. Some people liked it and others didn't, although this time it will be very different. But before we continue, let me explain the news to you. Maeve of Action Entertainment confirmed in a press release that she will work with Dynamite Comics on the Ben 10 reboot. The original creators of Maeve of Action, such as Joe Casey, Joe Kelly, Duncan Rowling, and Steven T. Seagal, will be part of the creative team that will bring the new series to life. However, rather than airing on Cartoon Network, this new Omnitrix Bearer chapter will be a comic series called Ben 10, written by Casey, releasing in February 2026. The creators promise a revival true to its roots. They plan to make the most of the creative freedom offered by the comic format, with the main goal of making it able to compete with the top superhero titles from Detective Comics and Marvel. They promise it will be the best of Ben 10 by far. Having the series continue through a comic is a good thing. Not having any restrictions leads us to endless possibilities. We've been able to see that. The Ben 10 community has presented us with several amazing comics, from the emotional with Absolute Ben 10 to the surreal with the Carnitrix. You can go through drama, comedy, and tragedy. Will this creative freedom mark a new era for the hero of the Omnitrix? The comic reboot is one of their best decisions for the franchise, as it opens the door to many familiar heroes and stories. In this new chapter, we won't have restrictions like we did in the last reboot. The last Ben 10 series brought a mix of emotions. One of the biggest things we have to admit is that it was aimed at a much younger audience. Duncan Rowley and some Maeve of Action executives tried to save the series by delivering strong episodes, especially the season finales. But there were so many restrictions that we ended up with a pretty unstable series. It made sense, as Cartoon Network was seeking very childish series then. Now that there are no networks and there's maximum freedom, where do the producers want to go with the reboot of the Ben 10 saga? John Casey aimed very high, assuring us that the Ben 10 reboot is going to be the best we've seen so far. He told us this would guarantee the best Ben 10 in history. To top the original, they'll need darker stories, some dimensional bends, and a path to Ben 10,000. This could be the key to rivaling heroes like Superman and Spider-Man. The original team will be back. The important thing is that these people are back, and especially Duncan Rowley, they guarantee us interesting stories that couldn't be told for a while. Some successes will be refined to perfection, and the Ben 10 saga's story will be expanded and enriched. All of this with a thoughtful approach to continuity in the style of classic superhero comics. The fact that they are here means that some familiar characters will return, but also that for younger readers we will have new opportunities. So far, 4 characters are confirmed for the new comic: Ben, his cousin Gwen, Grandpa Max, and his enemy Vilgax. Which makes us think that the beginning, at least the one we all know, will try to be repeated with some important touches for the new comic. I'm not sure if they still remember that famous Ben 10 Omniverse scene where Ben uses Cannonball to send the Omnitrix back to himself. All of this while diverting the meteor's trajectory. What do you think? Since it's a comic, should it start the same way? Finding the Omnitrix by chance and becoming Heat Blast seems likely. Speaking of Vilgax, confirming this enemy lets us explore much more lore. Seriously. I hope they explain a lot more things and that he becomes the respected and feared villain of the entire galaxy. And that he doesn't fall into the monotony of making a fool of himself every time he appears. Corresponding. The comic reboot's goal to compete with Superman and Spider-Man is interesting, though I don't know much about it. I know that Casey compared them to the Absolute and Ultimate titles from Detective Comics and Marvel, but since I don't know them in depth, I don't have a concrete opinion. I'm not sure if these statements mean they'll be similar to those comics or trying to surpass their success. If any of you are familiar with these kinds of stories, we can hear from you in the comments. Currently, we have the first chapters and look forward to them eagerly. It was planned that the new Ben 10 comic, which is being produced by Dynamite, would be released this year, but at Comic-Con it was confirmed that this would not be the case. The new Ben 10 comic has been delayed until 2026. While some see waiting another year as bad news, it could actually be good. More production time, more preparation, and above all that the release is accompanied by two very important things. While working on the script, these were confirmed, especially the toy merchandise with spoilers, which we'll discuss later, and a digital comics platform that will launch on the same day as the print version. Until a few days ago, you could sign up for the beta that Neo Ichiban will offer us, the site where the comics will be, but for now it's closed. It will be announced later if the service will be paid or if you'll only pay for the comics you want. Currently, UTouch has confirmed one alien. This company is responsible for the new Ben 10 toys released for the Big Ten special. We got to see Fuego with his famous pose of trying to fly. This reveals a few things to us. The first is that Fuego could actually be the original alien all along. And the second is that the aliens will be given the powers that we like so much. I hope that in this new stage of the comic, these powers will be considered more. The classic powers are fine, but adding those combos that Ben 10 Protector of Earth used to give us could take this comic and the aliens to another level. By the way, among the figures that UTouch also released, there's also the classic Omnitrix. So it's confirmed that some of the most important things we love are being respected. I recommend you subscribe to the channel because there will be a lot of important news about the new Ben 10 comic, the official comic. People who become members will get this kind of videos a few hours earlier. If you want to be a Supreme member, you know what to do. I'm uploading members content to Dailymotion days later, so you can watch it there if you can't become a member. It's free, so there's something for everyone. I'll leave the links in the comments. For my part, and with the company of these amazing people, I say goodbye. Remember, I'm Frio, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.